Yes, I am switching the counter for a second. We're having technical difficulties with our special guest from joining. We're trying to get a screen share going, so just be patient with me. I'm trying to get all the people in, so we'll be back in a minute. Here we go. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a long-awaited live stream. We are being joined today by, you know him as Hristo from Helium in our chat. A very close friend of mine. He watched my video on HIP51 and said, let's have a talk. Let's do it as a live stream. He's got some things to show us. He's here to change my mind on that video. Hristo, Yellow Dino, my friend, how are you today?
Perfect, thank you. Hello to everyone also looking on the web stream.
So yes, we have a nice handful of people watching. Everyone's been waiting for us. Before we get going, you know me, I like to drink, so I do have a beer of the day. It's called Neon Bear Hugs, or Beer Hugs. It's a play on words. So I will be sipping on that. We got the chat pulled up, so if you guys have questions when we get going, I will answer them. Or actually, Haristo will answer them. This is pretty much going to be your show today, right, Haristo?
Actually, I would like it to be a discussion, but I think everyone, including me, already heard your opinion on HIP51, and that's why I ask you to do this stream together, because I would like really to show a little bit different side, and to try to explain it also better, because from what I see, it's not only you, actually a lot of other colleagues, influencers, I will not call them by names, so not to make advertisements to other influencers and YouTubers in your channel, but a lot of them actually, in my opinion, are reading numbers wrongly, I think, and would like to explain as easy as possible, because in the same time, the HIP document is very hard to read. Actually, it was hard to read for me as well. I read it a couple of times and I read it just again. So I'm sure what I'm speaking just before we got on air. Really, there are a lot of stuff there going on. Try to explain it very briefly, and hope that it will bring more clearance about how things are expected to work.
All right.
Also, let's make a full disclosure. I'm sharing my opinion. I will try to explain the HIP, but also I'm sharing my opinion. And we should all have in mind that our business is very closely related with selling miners. So every opinion which is connected to Helium to the moon, I believe that. And to buy more miners, you should take with a grain of salt and just try to look to the arguments.
Yeah, no, that's a good disclaimer. I know in my video I did make a comment about if, like, you know, another distributor or someone that came out with one of the 5G miners wanted me to unbox one and review. I kind of like kept it in the back end in case you were like, hey, nerdy dude, you want to review one of these miners that we're selling? I mean, I'm not going to say no to you. You and I have had a good cohesive working relationship in the past year, and we've talked personally on many different levels. So it's like we've established that friendship, yet I'm not going to say no if you send me a 5G miner.
We don't have those yet, by the way.
So,
okay.
All right. So let's just dive right into the meat and potatoes. The one thing, it's the graphic I have on my screen. I did it in the video. The 1.2% for the LoRa miners. Changed my mind on it.
Can you please show it? Because I don't have it on my screen. I will show you different numbers later.
Yeah. I just
First,
have it.
I want exactly to explain what this graphic means. This is actually the biggest confusion in my opinion. What is this graphic and how does it work?
All right, so let me see if I can share my screen with you real quick without messing up a lot of stuff here. This is the graphic that, yeah, it's not letting me share it. If you pop on
I know it generally, just show it on screen for everyone else.
All right,
I know I cannot like point figures right now, but I can speak about it.
Oh, there you go. It's the moon. So it's the moon. Remember, it had that 1.2% for LoRa,
yes.
The 89% for cellular.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So, what was the idea of this graphic? About it's what I think it was 1.4%, but still the same, doesn't matter. What does this mean? Is that if, let's say, right now, the potential of the market, of the IoT market in general, in the world, is, let's say, 1.5. I'm just making figures for clarification. These figures are not real. But let's say the market for IoT business, for real devices, is $1.4 billion per year. After we include new networks like VPN, Wi-Fi, and 5G, we will have a potential market for 100 billion. So 60-70 times more than what it was before. This was the graphic wanted to show, but because a lot of people was reading like the rewards will go down to 1.4%, that's why they took it out and placed the moon as a joke, but to say that there will be a bigger market. And if you remember, last year, end of last year, when you were very keen on Planet Watch as well, I asked you where the money comes in Planet Watch, and that's why you know, we spoke with you a lot that we wanted to get involved also with Planet Watch just to find miners that will work with Helium and so on. Doesn't matter right now. I just want to point out, because of this, I ask you then where the money for Planet Watch will come. Because for Helium, there is a very straight plan where the money will come. There is a huge IoT market right now, but 5G market and VPN market are 50, 60, 70 times bigger than IoT market. And this money will come from people actually using the network. Right now, this part is really small, but it's small because Helium is still growing. Next year's, there will be more players to come that will use Helium. We are out on our own. We are already working on solutions, IoT solutions that use Helium, and they will come part by part. Helium is already very big. It has big advantage to all other LoRa networks because it has a huge coverage all over the cities. So for any smart city solution, Helium right now is the best solution, but it needs time to start be used. Other networks is not exactly like this. So here we speak about 60, 70 times more money potential for Helium to grow, which means that we can have much, much higher price for Helium. And here comes the disclosure that I made in the beginning, why I made this disclosure. The money, as little they are right now, that the Heliums, that HNTs we mine right now, in 5 or 10 years, there will be much, much more money. But this will not be like one click, I'm already a millionaire. I invested $500 in a hotspot and I want to be a millionaire in 1 month. Yes, people who started 2 years ago with 5 hotspots, they're already millionaires. But 2 years ago, I myself was not in Helium, and I'm a huge fan, you know, and our whole business is around Helium because we are fans. We are not just going for some fast money miners and so on. But I was not here 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. There were the very nerdy guys that were like engineers and IoT guys that believe in the idea, and they went and there were only 2,000 hotspots and they made like 2,000 or 1,000 HNT per month for a year before the hype came. So yeah, it was like this. But who was with Bitcoin in 2009? They would be billionaires right now if they kept the money from, you know? So just we need to work, grow the network, and use this potential. And to show you the figures, right now I want to share my screen and explain to you how are the new rewards going to be actually distributed. So, do you see my screen right now?
Yes, I got your screen. I'm gonna go ahead and enlarge it too, so that way everyone can see it.
That's good.
And we hear you.
Here we have this Omni Protocol POC incentive model. Everyone can come to GitHub, open the HIP51 documents and read it and get acquainted to it much better. So we have a formula here that includes 3 parts. First, I need to explain one new thing, which is very interesting and people don't understand it, but this VE, HNT, and governance. Actually, there was a HIP also about this before. I'm not sure about its number, but it doesn't matter. They're doing it already. The idea of this VHNT is to make the governments the important votes based on staked and locked up HNTs, which give you more voting power if you lock up your HNT for longer period. Here it's explained. If you lock it up for 6 months when you vote, then your voting power is 1. If you lock it up for 48 months, then your voting power is 100 times. The idea is that the people that are committing for longer time will have better vote, because, you know, if you lock up your HNT for 4 years, then obviously you are serious about your HNT. You don't want to buy it and say it quickly next week.
Right.
But meanwhile, you make a quick vote somewhere and change the protocol and then sell out everything. This is the main idea. And also, this VHNT will have, you will be able to lock up your HNT for some period on some of the sub DAOs. You know, so you say, I will lock up my HNT and vote for LoRaWAN, for IoT sub-DAO to have better earning power, let's say. And then here we have this, here, and you, by the way, receive incentive up to 6% per year. So it's kind of staking. You can stake it there, you increase the earnings for some of the DAOs. Someone can want to, some point when there is VPN subnetwork or Wi-Fi subnetwork, they can stake there, they will receive their staking rewards, but also will increase the ability for this subnetwork to mine more HNT. And here comes the spreadsheet that shows the formula very good. Can you just confirm me that you see the spreadsheet right now?
I can see it. Yep, we can see it.
Okay, so here are the numbers. 3 things are involved. First is what DCs are actually burned. This is the first part of the formula. And it is obviously which network makes more money for the whole network. It will also mine more money. This is the very same that it works right now. So that is it. More money coming from burning DCs and using the network and traffic, more HNT produced for this network. It's completely obvious. Then the second point is the devices and the fees that were used for onboarding DCs. So here they had this imaginary, because they don't know how much 5G devices we will have and how much Wi-Fi devices. This is a subnetwork that even didn't start it. But let's say we have this 750,000 LoRaWAN devices. We already have 850,000 LoRaWAN devices, actually, not 750,000. Then multiplied by the DC onboarding, and we have 50,000 5G devices. Again, $50 onboarding fees, and let's say Wi-Fi devices have $10 DC. So this makes different calculation about the score. And also this here comes the VHNT staked. So the staking part will be from what people believe that is more powerful, but also where more people have. For example, if you have 5 LoRa hotspots and just 1 5G, you will stake 5 times more HNT if you want to stake to the LoRa protocol because you have more miners there. It's obvious. But also the network says, okay, commit to the network and say, yes, I'm here for the next 4 years to stay, or for the next 1 year to stay, then different voting power. And then when these multiply, this is officially from Helium, and there is a link to this table in the protocol. I was just opened it already, but you can see it in the GitHub document for the HIP. So here you see, we have these devices. Believe me, there will not be more than 50,000 devices soon. I don't want to have time to, but maybe next year we won't have more than 5G, more than 50,000. And the sole reason is that Freedom Fi and Bobcat 5G miners are, let's say, the close price, very close to the regular miner. But you also need the small cell, which the cheapest small cells start from 2,000 and more dollars. So the investment there for one 5G hotspot is at least $3,000. And not everyone has the ability to install a 5G hotspot and so on. So this will not be like 1 million 5G hotspots in 1 year like it was with LoRaWAN. But believe me about that.
Okay.
I don't know when there will be more, but I don't believe that we'll have more than 50, 100,000 next year, even 2 years. But we'll see. It depends if Helium goes to $200-300, then a lot of people will start buying 5G devices. Yes,
right.
But
right.
this will be also only in the US. And if Helium goes to $200-300, then we are more than fine with what we earn right now with LoRa. You know, more than fine. If you earn 3 HNT per month or 2 HNT per month, and the HNT is 200 or 300, it's perfect. You pay for the miner for 1 month.
No,
so,
that's true, but aren't we going to be earning IoT tokens that we can convert to Helium?
Yes, but here is after a couple of months, we start earning IoT tokens, but they will be automatically converted to HNT based on this percentage here that you see, this 72 per 26 and so on. So you receive IoT tokens, but there is HNT for these tokens, which is distributed by this formula. So the HNT that goes into the LoRa network, into the IoT network for the IoT tokens, will be 72% with this calculation. If we have 50,000 5G devices, which we won't have soon. 5G is only in the United States. Rest of the world doesn't have the regulation. It's not that companies didn't produce the 5G cells. There is no regulation in Europe for 5G right now for personal use of 5G. I cannot buy 5G. Only telecom operators with licenses can install 5G cells, and they first need to pay a couple million to the government only in Bulgaria to have the 5G frequency license. So this is something that we hope to have soon, but right now it's somewhere in some European Union commissions discussing it. So next year's to come, no 5G in Europe. But then if we have Wi-Fi, if we have VPNs, then this we can mine in Europe. And here, pure speculation from myself, opening a huge disclaimer here about we selling full hotspots. But do you know what's the difference between light hotspot and a full hotspot?
About
hardware. From hardware point of view, this light hotspots to come.
No. Well, aren't they going to have? Obviously, they're not going to need the memory there since they're going to be off-chain hotspots. But won't they have? What am I looking for? Like they're. I'm blanking right now. I'm thinking of my 3D printer. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, so what's the difference? Memory, processor, weaker processor, less memory, less RAM. Because, they don't need the resource. That's why they're expected to be cheaper. We'll see with the inflation if they will be cheaper when they come. But a lot of producers don't expect it to be much cheaper. So all full hotspots installed right now will have 95% of their resource, processor, computing power, RAM, and built-in memory, flash memory, that is not used. So if we have a VPN subnetwork, it's a matter of software for the manufacturers to just install and have VPN miners for Helium as well on the same device. Again, speculation of myself, but
Right.
this will be possible. I will personally work with our partners to do that because there will be resource spare to use this. As soon as we have this mile-side devices are also able, you know that, and you use that also, they have the ability to be Wi-Fi routers. Not only Wi-Fi clients to connect to your home router, but they have this built in the hardware and in the software to work as Wi-Fi routers.
Yes.
So why not? Why not? I'm not promising or telling that will come, but why not? As soon as we have Wi-Fi network, install it in the current Wi-Fi mile sites. Why not? I'm sure they will do it, and I work with them. So these full hotspots are not to be going to the trash. They can be refurbished with new things to come next month and next year. This is also something to think about. But the general idea and general direction of the whole 50, I'm just saying some directions, you know. General idea is HNT to the moon. That's why they put these moons there. Really, the market potential, not the market right now, but the market potential for the next years to come will grow to 50, 60, 70 times than what it could be, even the biggest market opportunity of the IoT with 5G, Wi-Fi, and VPN networks. There, the market opportunity will be 50, 60, 70 times more than what is the potential right now. This means only growth of Helium price. And last week, the new crypto dip crash and everything proved that, because right now, Helium for 2 weeks grew with this HIP51, grew from 60th place to right now, I think last time I checked, half an hour ago, we were at 38, 39. And I'm sure we will grow more in the future. The price will go, and Helium, for me, is a top, let's say, I think it's top 10, but to be safe, let's say top 20 token to be. Helium with this DAO, with sub-networks, will give opportunity and will be, let's say for me, it's comparable to Ethereum. Like Ethereum with all these smart contracts, you can make all kinds of different stuff, you know, smart contracts and other tokens that are specific for something. And this is what made Ethereum what is it right now, you know? Helium have this potential to have different networks, be decentralized network. This is what the internet was supposed to be. That's why I believed it in Helium the first time I read about it and started digging from the first day I just heard about Helium. This is internet what is meant to be on the first ways, when it was invented, to be peer-to-peer, to be decentralized, and these guys are going there. And we can go there with them, or we can complain that something is just not working for 2 weeks.
Oh, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not unplugging my miners.
No. I'm just saying what I think. Again, third time, disclaimer, my opinion, we sell hotspots. So I have incentive to sell you hotspots. Want to be completely clear with that. So just look at the arguments, please. Look at the arguments I'm giving you and all the guys that are watching us. Look at the arguments, read the HIP, get your own opinion. Don't listen to Nerdy or some other guys that tell you this, and this. Check yourself. Nerdy, check yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone does need to do their own research. So, you know, I completely understand. We got a question from Suburban Crypto. What about the eroded market from new players coming into the market like Pollen? Also, Helium is far from stable when compared to other IoT networks like the Things network in Europe.
Yes, it is far from stable. As I told you, we are working on creating IoT solutions, and we have some issues, but we are solving them. TTN is, I think, 50 times smaller than Helium. And as soon as Helium, Helium has the blockchain, TTN is open source network. It was always network for enthusiasts that it's just for two purposes. Some people that are just enthusiasts install their hotspot. I even spoke with one guy 2 weeks ago, I think. He has a couple of hotspots for gateways for TTN for years, and they cannot grow, they cannot scale, because there is no money, there is no incentive. There is no incentive in the business. And blockchain technology is in the same way enabling the incentive and enabling the real decentralization, which is happening with Helium, and is in the same time the biggest issue of Helium, because there are a lot of issues with this blockchain and transactions and validators and everything. But this will go away.
All right.
It's workable.
So
it's not without any issues. It's not stable, but it's workable and it works and it's okay.
So with HIP51 coming out, I made the comment in my video about them not following through with other HIPs as well. So like HIP19 with the redenomination of the token price, is that still going to be something in effect that's going to be coming through, or is that something that just got swept on the table? Because I supported HIP19. I really did like that one. And when they didn't pull the trigger on it is when I kind of started going,
Okay, for HIP19, I can comment on what I know from the site. I'm not inside the team, but from what I heard, read, and so it's rumor space here. But the reason they postponed it, they did not say that it won't happen. As far as I know, it was planned for Q3. Maybe Q3, maybe Q4, maybe they will postpone it for 2023. But generally, it was postponed, and there was another big thing postponed, and it is the list on Coinbase. And as far as I heard some comments, it's connected, and they postponed the redenomination because of the launch of the Light Hotspot network, the DAO with DAOs, and then this is the next thing. It was intended to make the price grow. By the way, I don't think that we need to split 1,000 times. I think 100 times is more than enough. I would be very glad if they decide to review this vote and maybe vote again, because there was no possibility to vote for 100 times, for example. It was either for the split 1,000 times or no split at all.
Yeah.
I think 100 times is much more better, because if we go to $1,000 HNT right now, the current price, the current HNT, if goes to 1,000, after the split we'll have $10. But as soon as it is $10 or $100, then we speak about parts of the cent if we go for 1,000, So that's, I think it's not the best idea. It's more than enough to 100. We have a possibility to go to, let's say, 100,000 per one HNT, and it will be 1,000, which is like normal price. People still buy Bitcoin, even if it's 60 and 20 and 30, and doesn't matter. So
yeah,
up to 1,000, I think it's fair price, and it's not uncalculatable, let's say. So this, again, to answer, wrap up your question again, my information from outside is that this is just postponed, and also the Coinbase listing was postponed because of this, because there will be a lot of issues when they make the split with all exchanges. A lot of things will have issues.
Yeah,
there, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm just gonna hit like the devil's advocate question here. You know, like I said, I'm never gonna unplug my miners, and it's still, if I get into 5G, like I get the growth and the upgrades to a network. You know, we've seen it with cell phone technologies where we went from, you know, regular data to like 3G to LTE to 5G. So I'm not opposed to Helium growing and expanding their network into the later technologies that are coming what may. You know, there might be something 5 years from now, if Helium's still around, that's going to be bigger than 5G. Fine, upgrade into that. But still, we're building this network and we're providing this coverage for what? Like, why haven't we solidified anything on our low rod just yet? And now we're going into 5G. So it's like, great, we're providing 5G coverage, but for what? And, you know, like.
But it is not, they are not either or, they're both, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It is, and there are different teams working. I don't know if you know, but Freedom Fi are the architects of the 5G, and there is different team working on that. So the idea is that Helium becomes the layer one underlying layer, allowing other networks to be decentralized, no matter what network in future. This is the DAO. This is the HIP51 4. And this, for example, formula that I told you, we do exactly this.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let's say also LoRa dies in 5 years. There is a new technology, better. And as you mentioned, 2G, 3G, 4G, and so on, this will also take, as it takes time to grow, it will take time to die. Because there will be devices using it, software, investments. They will not just stop using it from today for tomorrow and change everything to the new technology, you know?
Right.
So these formulas that I showed you earlier will make this smoothly transition. So when we have the new network, the new technology, and if, let's say, it changes, because 5G and LoRa and Wi-Fi, they are not competing networks. They are more like for different uses, for different use cases, for different users.
Right.
Different people will use it in different use cases. But let's say there is an IoT network, IoT technology that comes in 5 or 10 years. Then it will be a new network. And as it grows, it will start taking more and more part of the pie. And as LoRa dies, let's say, this is imaginary situation.
Absolutely.
It will slowly shrink. People taking out their miners, less devices using it, the pie will shrink. So people still having their hotspots and miners there will still earn as there is usage and as there is incentive for the network, and they still shrink. And here comes the genius part of the decentralization and of this network. As soon as the market shows there is more money in the new technology, people will start investing, start installing the new miners, and it will grow the coverage, it will grow the network, it will grow the usage. It's market, and it's auto-regulating itself. Here, right now, Helium is cheap, earnings are low, people not installing new miners.
Mm-hmm. I guess it would be easier.
Helium was expensive, so this right now, there is a lot of hype behind it.
Mm-hmm.
We should not remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And people are disappointed because even I saw it here in the chat earlier, there was some guy in the beginning writing something about ordering Nebra 20 years ago. So yes, there were some manufacturers that people, you know about us, we always delivered in maximum 3 months. I think we don't have like more than 3 months after we started our operations. Even we delivered a lot of our orders much faster, a lot of them for 1 month.
You never overcommitted,
last
which was
month. That's
you
right,
never overcommitted.
Yeah, but there were a lot of also manufacturers, even the biggest one, that were shipping orders in March that were made in September or October. I'm not sure, but something like this, like 4 or 5, 6 months later. So in March, I can tell you from a retailer point of view, we already had in stock. It wasn't. We were not selling in pre-orders, and we already had stock in stock, but we were already selling less than we sold in January and February. Mm-hmm. But still, there were like 50, 60, 70,000 hotspots installed in March, in April, and so on. And this was because there were a lot of old orders. So there were people buying, let's say in November when HNT was 60, and when there was like still like 0.3 to 0.5, even one HNT sometimes per day. So you say, okay, I will make between $30 and $60 per day. You order at this point in November, and then you receive it in April, when there is 0.1 reward per average in the network, and the HNT is $12 or $20, doesn't matter. So you're already earning $1 or $2 per day. So 30, 50 times less than you expected. But this is because of the hype and from a lot of pre-orders that companies couldn't manage to deliver. And this is the hype. In future, this will self-regulate. Still, even now with this crushed prices, I calculated it yesterday with this calculator of Helium. Average hotspot that is making 2.5 HNT per month, which is right now per $10, it's $25 per month. Will pay for itself at these conditions right now. Will pay for itself for 2 years. Brand new Ethereum miner, which is the best of the best, didn't come to the market yet, will come in 2 months, cost $30,000 and pay for itself last week before the crash at 1.8, I checked it, for 3 years. So we're still good, and HNT will grow. People that want to mine now for 0.1 per day will earn more in 2 years. Calculate, just keep their money, their HNTs, they keep and stake them. They will have more money than people that will come in 2 years when HNT, let's say, is 500 or 1,000. They will have more, because as soon as HNT becomes 100, not 1,000, 100, there will be again a lot more hotspots started buying and installing. And here is for everyone to make a decision, because I have seen a lot of situations, a lot of people buying with credit cards and then starting complaining. I was seeing it in our Discord, some people were saying, come on, when are you going to deliver? And other clients of ours say, come on, Helium Mart is the fastest delivery on the market. Why are you complaining? And they say, yeah, that's okay, but I buy, let's say, 10 hotspots with my credit card, and I need to pay the fees for the credit cards, the installments, and I need to start paying this HNT. So people that took credits, is one point. This is their decision. I'm not judging, but for me, I have everyone that have asked me, I have ever, even I'm interested to say you more, but I prefer that you make money the right way for the longer time, because then we are going to be my friend and my client for a longer time. This is how I think about things. And I have always advised people to invest. This is still, I believe, really much in Helium, but it's still a high risk investment. So I would prefer to buy 1 hotspot only, or 2 hotspots, money that I can afford to lose.
Right.
And then keep every single HNT, every single 0.00001 HNT for the next 5 years, take them and have them in 5 years. Yeah, maybe we were all wrong. Helium crashes, everything goes away. Then I lost 1,000. My first order in April last year, when I started working with Helium and started becoming fan of Helium, and I ordered in April, my first order was 5 hotspots, $2,500. As I said, I spoke with my wife, and I said, I'll make a risky investment that I believe, but we'll see. She said, okay, when you believe, 2,500, we can afford that, to lose that. Okay. I ordered that. Then later we made much bigger business, because I was just a fan and I was searching how to make this work and to be part of it, because I really believe in it. But in the beginning, I invested what I can afford to lose. And that's how I think people should do, and they should keep and stake and work for the growth of the network. By the way, can you give me 30 seconds for advertisement, for teaser, not advertisement. Advertisement will come in a couple of weeks, but we are working on a project that will allow a lot of our friends and customers to help us grow the network and earn money on their way. Just teaser, and I will write to you when we are ready with this project.
Okay.
And we can announce it together.
Okay. Let's see. Just going through the chats real quick. That's why I paid my miners, making a comment about what you were taking. We need to get businesses that use sensors for like detecting water leaks, etc., to come to Helium. I think that's what you and I were talking about when I was.
Yes, and we are working hard about this. Yes.
Yeah. And then Jeff USMC just redacted it. So, all right. So when we first got together and we first started talking and stuff, do you still believe that we are now? Are we still in the Helium gold rush, regardless of the price, regardless of the crypto crash market? With the Helium miners that are popping up, do you think we're now in the gold rush, or now are we kind of like stabilizing out?
No, it's, one of the biggest issues of people is greedy. We are greedy, all of us. Some are more, some are less. And when someone comes to YouTube channel and says to us, look at this device, it costs $500 and earns 100 per day or 200 per day. This was last year, April. This was how it started. They were even making like $200-300 per day, some people. And we say, yeah, I want 5, I want 10, I want 100 if possible. Here is my credit card, take it all. And this is how it works. So right now, we don't have a gold rush. Right now, everyone is waiting to see what will come. A lot of new miners are being installed. There are, of course, some people buying the first, but compared to December, man, it's cannot be compared. Even,
oh, absolutely. Back in December,
yeah.
I think. I mean, I know you sold out of like every single mile site, and I know that I was one of the big driving forces there for how much you guys had. But now it's just like I only have like $14 in commission.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, and in December we had like one day with with Mary IoT first batch. It was like we sold out thousands for minutes,
Yeah.
And site go down. It was like this. Right now, yeah, we can for a month we cannot do this, And but when the HNT goes up, people will start buying again, and there will be a new gold rush.
That's
as soon as HNT gets, and I prefer it stable. By the way, I don't think this a second gold rush, but maybe it will come at some point. We'll see what we have now with 5G, with prices and so on. But it will be for some time, maybe 2-3 more years. This was also, by the way, with Ethereum. I have never mined Ethereum, but I have friends that do it. And a friend of mine, we were speaking about this with Helium miners saying out, and a friend of mine said, a couple of years ago, there was like with the previous crypto crash, there were people selling on like eBay and everything else, selling out their cards for mining and rigs for mining Ethereum. Like they wanted to get rid of them, selling cheap just to finish. Everything was crashed,
Yeah.
Couple of months later, they were buying their own cards that they sold on eBay for 2 or 3 times more money because it started going up again. So just be patient and wise. That will be my advice. Be patient.
Going to eBay right now.
Don't risk something you cannot afford losing, and with Ethereum mining, there is an issue because you have a lot of electricity, and even if you have already paid your rig out, if you cannot pay the ongoing cost for the electricity, there is an issue again. With Helium, you have $2, $3, $4 per month for electricity.
Yeah.
Who cares? Just leave it there. Whatever HNT it comes, don't look at it. if it's like, if you're going crazy looking, oh no, that's actually, it's good to look at it, because if it's like crashes the miner itself, needs rebooting, so on, it's good to have an eye on it. But put some pings. There are software for that, a lot of software that are offering to ping your miner, to give you notification and so on.
Yep.
Just don't go every 5 minutes and say, oh, it's flatline. Yeah, it will be like this. There will be, it's already known that we have like the maximum that we can handle, and right now there are much fewer, but it will be like 1,000 challenges per block. So the more miners come, less activity there will be on the single miner. But in general, right now we have 0.1 HNT per day per device. Some are less, some more, you know. But I think it's not like 0.1, but maybe 0.07, 0.08, something like this.
Yeah.
And on average. So this is it. It doesn't matter if it comes with 1 challenge per 3 days or with 3 challenges per 1 day. Doesn't matter. It will be the same rewards, because the rewards are per block.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. So, all right. Well, I know we were talking about only doing this for a half hour. We went into a full hour. I really appreciate your time.
I hope that we were like helpful and beneficial to people, for sure, to understand better. So
yeah, there was definitely some positive feedback from some people in the chat. There was just one other question that I had for you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Where was it? Let's see. Hang on 1 second here. All right. So I had a question from Brian Callahan. He said, can you say I'll be back or get to the chopper?
What?
He asked if you could say I'll be back or get to the chopper.
I'll be back or get to the chopper.
Come on, you got to do the honor. You got to. I promised him I'd ask that for you. So, but
yeah, we need to have fun as well. Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, so I appreciate it. I know the chat appreciates it. You know, I look forward to maybe we do this again. I know you said you wanted another, you know, you got an announcement, and we'll probably get together for another one. Maybe I'll do another super clickbaity video where you want to go, nerdy dude, you're doing it again. Let's clear it up.
Yeah.
So sure. I have no problem doing that. I am looking forward to the next video I plan on doing is going to be, because at this point I've been mining helium for a full year. So I have all my numbers from my 3 main miners were the 2 Bobcats that I have, and then the 1 mile site that I got with you, and those have been my big dog, my heavy hitters. Like you sent me the McGill antenna, and those have been like the big dogs. So I'm really excited to show those numbers. And then once helium started taking a dive, I kind of got really lazy and I deployed my miners, but I haven't updated their cables or their antennas yet. So like the Mary IoTs that I haven't updated or done their cables yet. So would you say it's a smart idea for me to get my ass in gear and to get those set up like the other 3 main miners?
Yes, and I'm do this. Just do it.
Just do it.
Collect every single 0.1 HNT you can get for the moment, because 0.1 HNT, when it comes, and when Helium, I'm saying when, again, the disclaimer, you know,
right?
Remember, but I'm saying when Helium becomes $1,000, every single day you didn't do 0.1 because you didn't put your antennas, will have cost you $100 every single day.
Okay.
Not counting that you can stake and get even more HNTs on top of the HNTs.
Yeah.
This is the game. The game is be patient, you know, put your miners, take every single 0 point you can get from them. 0.1, 0.05, doesn't matter. Put them to work and be patient. And I will be very happy to have maybe 1 or 2, more like 2-3 years from now, to have a same chat with you, speaking how helium is 1000 and calculating our profits and explaining to people that just heard about helium right now how we became multimillionaires from zero point 0.1 H&P per day, and showing the graphs then.
Yeah.
Just we need to be patient.
Yeah.
Everything that is one click to a millionaire becomes a hype, then it stops to be. It's always like that. It cannot work, you know. There is no. Imagine what was last year. This point last year, I started then as well as you, and that was even in April. It grew 50 times because it was like this.
Yeah.
And it just shows the potential, but it cannot be for 50 times more people to be the same 1 year later. It will be, but in 5 years, or in 6 years, or in 3 years. But it cannot be. If it was like all the time growing, then I would have been the first to get out, because this would have been a clear Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up there. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Again, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much to all of you watching, commenting, liking, chatting. Really appreciate it. If you guys came in late to the stream, go back and rewatch the beginning. Haristo from Helium Mart gave us some really good data. He showed his screen. So if you're just tuning in now, definitely go back and watch the replay when it uploads. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notification. Thanks again, Haristo. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Thank you, Joe. Bye, guys.
And